Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, where's my brethren? Where's my brethren in Nigeria? Shout out to Nigeria and everybody else watching this video. Wanted to just talk about this Wilder Ortiz fight that happened this past weekend because it was really a great fight. And, been on here for a couple years now, and I made countless videos about Deontay Wilder. Some positive and many not so positive. And you know what? I like to be fair on this channel. When I call someone out for not fighting a certain level of opposition or not showing more in their skill set, when they actually do that and they have their signature fight and they have a good performance and they rise to the occasion on the night, then you got to give them credit. So this video right here is going to be me putting some respect on Deontay Wilder's name, as it says in the title, because he deserves it, man. It was a great fight. We'll start off with earlier in the fight. Luis Ortiz was doing a fantastic job getting to Wilder's left, getting away from the right hand, because that seemed to be the game plan early on, to get away from the right hand of Wilder, which thus in turn would allow him to counter off of any lazy jabs or missed right hands. And he was having a lot of success with that early on, Ortiz. And I think on the night, we got a deeper look finally. It took 40-something fights, but finally, we got to look into Wilder's character a little more. What he was saying actually holds some weight now because he got hurt. He showed that he could stay composed. He showed that he could weather the storm. And granted, it was against a guy that was older, but it was still one of the most dangerous opponents in the world, the guy that's a top-level heavyweight. And now you can't say Deontay Wilder hasn't beaten a top-level heavyweight. He's went there. He's done that. Are there still a lot of flaws that it could be exposed? Absolutely. And you know what's funny? That's what makes Wilder an exciting fighter, a must-see TV type of a fighter, because of the fact that he is vulnerable. And that's always been the case of boxing history. The guys who have always been the most fan-friendly have been some of the most vulnerable fighters. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next. Is he going to fight Joshua in 2018? If you asked me last year, I would have said, yeah, it's definitely happening in 2018, but it appears that Wilder he's probably going to have to knock on a mandatory obligation soon. So expect to fight like a Dominic Brazil type of opponent. Joshua is probably going to fight Parker. If he beats him, then obviously they're going to look to go to Jarrell Miller out and bring him here to the States. And then probably, I would say, sometime in 2019. But regardless of the fact, on True School Sports, and what's funny, because I want to get into this a little bit too, because I think you guys had it misconstrued about me. You guys said, oh, well, BT, you hate Wilder and all this and that. And I've shown you guys videos dating back to 2015 of me talking positively about Wilder. I've just been frustrated with the level of opposition he's been fighting. But I was more mad about the fact that Wilder was getting passes from the WBC. And I just wanted to see him fight a top-level opponent. And I viewed Ortiz as a top-level opponent. Also, it is worth noting that I went to New York on November the 4th, not just to go see my boy Adrian Granado's fight, but I wanted to see Wilder against Luis Ortiz, and I didn't get a chance to see that live, so that kind of upset me, and that's what it was. But I would still like to see him improve, get back to the gym, maybe improve that jab a little more. Maybe and I know he's 40, he's not everybody, so who am I to tell the guy what he should and shouldn't do? But I'm just saying, man, when he fights someone who's a little bit more younger, like Anthony Joshua, if he gets hurt again like that, I think Anthony Joshua have just that little bit more to maybe finish him. So he might want to straighten it up on those legs a little more. Maybe not run a whole lot of miles. That's not a marathon, but just straighten those legs up a little bit, because Anthony Joshua touch you. He's younger than Ortiz, and although he does have his own stamina problems at times, he's gonna have that little bit more to finish you, and he's got the experience as well. So for Wilder, I'll put some respect on his name. It was the right experience that he needed in this fight with Ortiz, a guy that's has over 300 amateur fights, dangerous, been ducked by a lot of fighters. It was right. He went through adversity. He showed that he could be mentally disciplined and sticking with what he was trying to do. Because I always thought, for me, what I thought with that fight was he was going to try to get him into those later rounds, try to test the age, test the conditioning, if he couldn't find the right shot early. And that's what he did. Later on in the fight, Ortiz's legs began to not work as well as it did early on in the fight. he started following Wilder in straight lines, which I also said too. I remember when I was alive, I was telling my dad, he was sitting right next to me on the couch. I said, Dad, Wilder, his downfall is going to be that, or Ortiz downfall is going to be that he's following Wilder in straight lines. And then he was following Wilder in a straight line, and he walked right into a right hand that put him on the canvas, which was the first of the couple knockdowns. So, yeah, man, great fight with Deontay Wilder. As Lewis Ortiz, man, I kind of wanted to get into this, man. This fight, to me, if anything, it confirmed to me that if they would have fought 3 years ago, when Ortiz was the best heavyweight in the world, because 3 years ago he was. I thought he was, at the time he had beaten Bryant Jennings, who was also, a very game heavyweight, one of the better heavyweights in the division at the time. I thought he was better than Klitschko. I thought he was better than Joshua Wilder. All these. Yeah, to me, he was the most skilled heavyweight on the planet at that time, but he never got the shot that he should have got back then because he just was too high risk, low reward. And even now to this day, still very high risk and low reward. Like it's rewarding from the standpoint for Wilder that he kind of has that name on his resume, but it's not rewarding from like a monetary standpoint, which is ultimately what it is. The great Steve Kim, respected boxing writer, he always said that. He said, I heard him say in a video that boxing is just business, just as a sport, and that statement holds a lot of weight. That statement, to me, there's a lot of truth in that statement. So, I always wondered, the fight made me wonder, and my boy Paul was talking about this after the fight. It made me wonder, like, if they would have fought 3 years ago, or if all the heavyweights would have fought Ortiz 3 years ago, how good would he have been, or how many of those guys would he have beaten? How dominant of a champion would he have been? Because he was back 3 years ago, man. Tremendous fighter. Still a tremendous fighter today, but just a little bit more tremendous 3 years ago. So, that's my video. We're putting respect on Wilder's name. Hopefully, we get to see him there with Anthony Joshua real soon. I'm expecting a Dominic Brazil type of opponent in his next fight. And let me know what you guys think about the fight. What if for those of you out there who may have been a big Wilder detractor, and I. In my own way, I was a detractor of Wilder's. But it is worth noting. I did pick him in this fight, and I have that on record. I picked him in this fight. So for those of you who were in my comments saying, "Oh, you're hating on Wilder," no, I'm not hating on Wilder. I picked him in the damn fight. So that's that. But for those of you who picked against Wilder or had just been hating on him for a long time, like, did this fight do anything for you? Did it do anything for your perception of him as a fighter? Because he did go in there and he did beat a dangerous heavyweight in Lewis Ortiz. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every video, my name is Brennan Taylor. And you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.